Check me out.
Yeah. Hey there, podcast listening people. Connor Doobie here. Hope you're having a great day. Thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you as always. Please do us this tiny favor. Before you leave today, make sure you subscribe wherever you're listening. We're on all your favorite podcast apps. And make sure you leave a review. Please pause this if you need to. Go write a quick review or do it after you listen to the show. It always helps us continue to make this a great show for you. And we're continuing to improve this. And welcome to Mile High Mentors. I am your host each and every single episode. And we have a new guest for you each and every episode too. And today we have a great guest for you. My friend Chris Thompson stops by, who is a Twitch partner. He is a original YouTube partner as well. He's amassed over 100 million views as a social media influencer. He recently added live streaming where you can also listen to his new podcast that he started as well. His podcast is called Unfiltered Friends, and Chris is a really, really genuine guy, really motivational too. You got to go follow him on Instagram, Chris Thompson, and definitely recommend checking out his stuff. But we talked about a lot of, really interesting things, from growing the following, how he got started, and coming back from a lot of the challenges and struggles that he's faced in his life, which I can't wait for you folks to listen into that. So before we jump in real quick, do us this, if you're interested in partnering up with the show, you want to collaborate, you have guests that you recommend, we're always looking for other local Colorado businesses to partner up with as well. Make sure you send us an email, milehighmentors@gmail.com. Wherever you see us on social media, you can also reach out to us there. But, we use Instagram probably the most. But send us an email, milehighmentors@gmail.com. Any areas that you want to partner up or collaborate, or if you have guests that you recommend. And also, we are bringing back our partnership onto this introduction with Active Blogs, because it's really important for you to be able to have a successful business. You have to be able to reach the right people, and you have to be able to stay in front of them. And one of the most underused platforms that exists today in order to do that is LinkedIn. And our partners at Active Blogs have a free LinkedIn training for you to help you grow your sales organically, no matter what level your business is at. This is a step-by-step process in order to reach and close more sales from LinkedIn. So go visit activeblogs.com/webinar. Again, activeblogs.com/webinar, and you can get that free training. It's called The Missing Links to LinkedIn Success. All right, folks, without further ado, please give it up for my friend and today's guest, Chris Thompson, on the Mile High Mentors podcast. That aside, Chris Thompson.
Hey.
Where are you from originally? Where do you hail from, sir?
I don't know. I moved a lot as a kid.
Uh-huh.
So I was born in Indiana, and then moved to Illinois, and then moved to New Jersey, and then moved back to... Indiana, Illinois, Indiana, New Jersey, Illinois, and then moved to California when I was like 21. And then I've been in Denver for about 7 or 8 months at this point.
Wow.
Yeah. We moved around a lot.
Wait, how old are you?
I'm 37.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, wait. I got really confused there for a second.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
The numbers. Well, the way you said it made it sound like you're like 22 years old.
No.
You said you've been to Denver ever since or whatever. I would just go with 22.
Well, I'll say I'm 22.
Okay.
You couldn't pay me to be 22 again. No.
No?
No, what an awkward time.
Yeah.
Maybe have the same body I had when I was 22, because it gets harder and harder, especially when you get over 30 to like maintain that body. But the knowledge that I have today, like I wouldn't trade that for anything.
Yeah. Well, I introduced you to my friend Eric Hinman down here.
I'd actually met him before.
Oh, before
I met him one time before that, and then went to that dinner with you and saw him again, and it just illustrates how small
Denver
this town is. That that Carrie girl you had on here.
Yeah.
I matched with her on some dating app, and we just never ended up meeting.
You guys should go out.
We didn't end up meeting up. And then I saw her there, and I was like, why do I recognize her? And so now we follow each other on Instagram or whatever. But
I just saw her share something into her Instagram story about falling in love. You guys should probably connect. Honestly, you two.
You mean she's falling in love?
No.
Oh.
No.
I was about to be really happy for her.
No. You two can fall in love.
Yeah, but what if she was already falling in love? Like, I want everyone just to be.
No.
Nah, forget that. But yeah,
who knows?
It's such a small city.
Yeah, it's a good thing and a bad thing. But what I was saying is Eric is I think he's the same exact age as you, and he's like freaking cut, like ripped, like shredded.
But like, look at how much work. I don't care as much as he cares.
Yeah,
like it's great, but I'm not going to dedicate my life to that. I'm just going to try and be as healthy as I can be, but also just like go live life. Because like I feel like I get a workout just looking at his Instagram story. I was like, all right, that's my cardio for the day.
Yeah,
we're good. He's like, I'm flying down a mountain. Now I'm deadlifting 7,000 pounds.
He's like doing handstands like down a mountain.
Good for him.
Whatever. Yeah, good for him.
I
hope you're listening right now, Eric.
I appreciate what he does. It's just
I know. It's
I
savage.
appreciate how much effort it takes to look like that, and he can attest that. Like he probably has to work so much harder now than he did 10 years ago.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Keeps me motivated. I look at his stuff. I'm like, I'm slacking. And I need to practice my handstands.
My friend did that and ended up like damaging his like joints or something like that.
In his wrists?
Maybe.
Yeah, it's not probably good for you to put your entire body weight up in your hand.
Yeah.
In your wrists and all that good stuff. So moving around all that time, what was that like growing up for you?
I was really good at adapting. But I wasn't the best at investing in people because I was always going to be gone. And it's interesting how that.
And you knew you were going to be gone?
I mean, after like the first 3 moves, like the second time I lived in Indiana, I was there for 6 months. You know, so it was just like.
Were you an Army brat?
No, my dad worked for AT&T.
Oh, telecom.
And when they were doing all their splitting off and like they made like Lucent and like my dad was just really, really good at what he does. So instead of firing him, or letting him go, they would relocate him. So all the downsizing and splitting around that time, we just end up getting like, shifted around quite a bit.
Yeah, it's a volatile industry to be in. People, companies get absorbed and eaten up and chopped in half, and like
that's been his life.
Crazy.
He went from AT&T to Motorola.
Yeah,
and then Motorola got bought by Google. And he was real excited because I technically work for Google, I guess, as a YouTube content creator. Like I get my 1099s from Google, and I think maybe 6 months later he didn't have a job for the first time in his life since he was 12, because Google just bought it. They just wanted the hardware. They have the software. They just chopped it up. So now my dad works for
Motorola. Yeah, that was Motorola.
And
remember the push to? Didn't they have the push to talk? Weren't
Nextel.
They the first? Oh,
you talking about Nextel?
No, I think it was Motorola. They did the push to talk.
Yeah,
that was Motorola.
Yeah, but I think the technology was called Nextel or something like that.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then so now my dad works for a company called Here Navigation, and he's developing the maps that are going to go into self-driving cars.
Whoa.
It's really cool.
So he's an engineer type person.
Yeah, he got a grant to go to University of Illinois as an electrical engineer. My dad's super smart. I didn't get any of that book smart, but thankfully I got his street smarts. Yeah.
Yeah. So are both of your parents still together?
They just came to visit.
Oh.
I've had more people visit me here in Denver in the 7 months I lived here than the 15 years I lived in LA. And I was like, I guess
because no one wants to go to LA.
You know what? I used to think like, oh, this is the coolest place to be, and then like I woke up one day, I was like, I hate this place. Like I am not happy.
Really?
And so now, like, everyone's like, I want to come visit. Or maybe I'm just, like, their only Denver friend, and they had more options, and I was lower on the totem pole in L.A. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. So, is your mom also in that space, or?
No. My mom was a stay-at-home mom.
Huh.
And then when I was a senior in high school, My sister was a freshman in high school, so she started working at my school, and she's worked at my school ever since. She's an aide for special needs kids. So it's good. She had to learn patience with me and my sister, so it's perfect for her. She's really, she's awesome.
Yeah. Interesting. So what did you yourself, you went to school, did the traditional schooling route, or?
Yeah, I quit though.
Oh, yeah.
I went to Illinois State University. I was going to be a high school choir teacher. And then my sophomore year.
Do you sing?
Yeah.
You sing? Oh, do you sing on your streams?
Sometimes, yeah. Huh. There's actually a new game on Twitch called Twitch Sing, so it's like a karaoke game.
Huh.
So I've been singing a lot more, actually. But yeah, when I was a sophomore, I got scouted by this record label who was forming a boy band. And this was like the tail end of like the NSYNC, like Backstreet Boys time. So it was like 2000 when this happened.
Yeah.
And I quit school to join a boy band. And then maybe 6 months later, we were like halfway through recording the album, and maybe 6 months later, I get a call from it was like Christmas Eve. I remember this. I get a phone call saying, it was a brand new record label. They're like, we had some investors pull out, so we're going to pull the plug on the whole thing.
So it never really went anywhere then?
No. We were like starting to like build up momentum, and then it just all fizzled. And that was I'm kind of glad that it happened, because I needed to get humbled because I come from a town of like, at the time, 20,000 people. So small town. I have this big thing happen, and I think I'm the shit. And then it's all pulled out. And that was my first like Hollywood lesson, which I would learn over and over again after I moved to LA. But yeah, I was home.
This all fell through.
And I was already.
You still decided to move. You moved to LA after all of this.
Yeah, well, I was already withdrawn from school, so I couldn't get back in until the next year. And I was working at. Do you remember Bennigan's?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I worked at.
Are they still around?
I think there's like one or two I've seen,
in the entire country.
It's mostly gone.
It's a breakfast joint, right?
No.
Bennigan's.
It's like a fake Irish place.
Oh.
Do you ever see the movie Waiting with Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah.
It's based on Bennigan's. So it's like a Applebee's type thing, but Irish themed.
What a classic movie.
I love that movie. So good.
Of course, anything with Ryan Reynolds in it.
Yes. I wasn't in love with Deadpool 2. I'm going to say that.
Come on.
I think he's great. I'll give him a pass, but I thought
it was great.
I thought it was good. Why
are you hating on Deadpool 2?
Because I think the first Deadpool movie set such a high bar that I expect that bar or higher for the next one, and it didn't happen for me, in my humble opinion. I'm also not huge into comics. I just base it on like the storyline, I guess. So like I watch all the Avengers movie, but the only character I really cared about was the Hulk.
Really?
I love the Hulk. I grew up watching Lou Ferrigno, the Hulk, so it wasn't like CG. It was just this big freaking dude.
Yeah.
I loved that. But yeah, so I was working at Bennigan's. My life was like that movie Waiting. I was getting up every morning, hungover from the night before, work a double. Then,
this was in LA at the time?
This is in Illinois. I was still in Illinois.
Okay, got it.
And then I would go out with everyone after work and get
dropped
drunk.
Out of school at this point in time.
It was like, and I woke up one day, I was like, you used to be ambitious. Like, what are you doing? And one of the guys I was in the band with was like, hey, do you want to move to L.A.? And I said, sure. And a month later, I lived in L.A. I just packed as much as I could in my car, and I went. And people were like, you're so brave. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And then I got to L.A., and I recognized. This put in perspective how ignorant I was to what it would cost to live in L.A.
How old were you at this time?
21, 22, in that range. I saved up $5,000 and thought I'd be good for a while. In one of the most expensive cities. I'd never lived on my own before. I was broke within a month because I was spending money like stupid.
Because that was your whole month's rent also.
Mm-hmm. My first job was a valet at the Beverly Hills Hilton. I quit that in the middle of it because I was a college athlete, a runner, and I was running around. I was working my butt off, make more money, but all the guys I worked with were like career valets, and they all cornered me and said, if you don't slow down, we're going to beat you up because you're making us look bad. And I took my uniform off right there, and I just walked off the job. Then I got hired at a Bennigan's out there.
What? But
they had the worst wildfires in like 150 years, so it was raining ash in downtown Glendale where the Bennigan's was. They're like, come back when the fire is cleared, and we'll get you hired on here. When I came back, the manager who was supposed to hire me on had robbed the safe and fled to Mexico, so I didn't get hired there.
Dude, your life is a movie.
This was the first 2 weeks. that I lived in Los Angeles. There was fires, mudslides, earthquakes. It was like, are you sure?
Wait, hold on. Go back to the valet experience.
Yeah.
You were working harder than the other guys, and then that's where you like pissed them off because you were working harder than them?
Yeah, they were in their 40s and 50s, and I was a 22-year-old athlete. So I was like, if I move faster, I make more money, right? Hustle. But they couldn't move as fast as I could, and it made them angry because I was raising the bar.
You should have been like, F you, I'm going to make this bread. But you quit.
Yeah, no.
If you had to go back through that again, would you?
Absolutely,
you'd quit
would've.
there again?
Yep.
Really?
I don't want to be in that environment. I could, and I ended up going somewhere else and making even more bread with less BS. You know, I think people think I don't prioritize money. I think money is great. I need money to survive, but I don't prioritize it because it's not going to make me happy. You know, you can do something just for the sake of money for a certain period of time, but you're not going to maintain it if you don't care about it. And slowly it just eats away at you.
Right.
At least in my experience.
Right.
So as long as I
have...
In
some cases, unless you have the right purpose, the right intention.
But that's what you're talking about.
Yeah,
like, you're talking about actually caring about it. But if you're just in it for the bread, I wasn't passionate about valeting cars.
Yeah.
You know, no offense to valets, but it just wasn't, I didn't really care.
Some of those guys probably make six figures doing that job, right?
There was a guy who was a prince that would come in and he would just give you like, I don't know, like $1,000 to just stand next to his car. And I was like, oh man, I'd love to have that kind of money. But yeah, no, it wasn't worth it to me. Yeah. So I walked off. That was the only job in my life I've ever done that because I think that's really disrespectful. But so was people threatening to beat me up because I was doing a good job.
Yeah.
You know, that was going to be my environment every day and I didn't want that.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. And then after Bennigan's, I got hired at a Mexican place. I got fired within 5 days for
Mexican restaurant?
Yeah. For not being excited enough to be there. The real story was the manager tried to have sex with me and I said no, and they got mad and fired me.
Was it a guy manager? Or...
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. Then I got hired at a shoe store, DSW shoe store. I helped set up the store, and then when the store launched, they cut my hours to 5 hours a week. So they just wanted cheap labor to set up their store. Then I got hired at another Mexican place down the stairs, which was a blast. But the guy was like sifting money somehow, or like, I don't know what he was doing. But manager. I showed up for work one day and the doors were locked and it said out of business.
Oh.
That was my first month and a half. Broke. Can't hold a job. Not because I'm not trying. Maybe I should have kept that first job. But you know what? The story wouldn't have been as good if I didn't quit. I don't know. LA's a tough place. It's a tough place. It's a sunny place for shady people.
Yeah. Wow. That's an interesting way to put that.
Mm-hmm.
I actually haven't been to LA. I've been to other places in California. So I just go off of what other people tell me about it. But almost everyone tells me very similarly to what you're saying is it's like very pretentious.
Well, I mean, you go there to be at the top end to compete with the top people, and you go there to be self-serving. You have to. If you really want to make it in that entertainment industry, you have to forego pretty much everything and focus on just what you want to do to make the connections. And even then, you might not make it. So, like, I don't fault anybody for being very self-centered or maybe being a little shifty because it's a tough city. But I just don't identify with it. So it's just like I only did like the acting. I tried the acting and modeling thing for like the first couple years, and I was like, I don't enjoy this. And that's when...
Was that your intention when you went out there in the first place?
To do music. But I just... In order for you to make it in those industries, like kind of like we were talking about with Eric and his fitness stuff, like you really have to dedicate that plus some. And I just didn't have enough love to put enough work into it.
Right.
So that's when, after the first couple of years, that's when YouTube started. So YouTube was 4 years into that. So it's just kind of like putzing around, getting drunk, chasing girls, waiting tables, working in bars and stuff like that. And then YouTube came along. And for the first year, it was just a creative outlet. And then in 2007 or 8, Google bought it. And I was like, wait, you can make money doing this? And I've been a full-time content creator. Well, I've been a content creator since 2006. I went full-time about 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're starting to kind of taste this while you're working all these odd jobs. And did you ever do anything music related in LA?
No, just karaoke.
Yeah.
For the most part. I loved music. I mean, I did not LA specific, but my first YouTube channel was a music channel, so I was a full-time, I guess, self-employed musician through YouTube, iTunes and like ad revenue through YouTube, but I never like pursued the performing aspect of it. I might do it later in life, but like I found more strength in my speaking voice than my singing voice. So I decided to focus on that.
Yeah, so you're like a month into being in California. You're just getting beat down. What's going through your mind at this point in time?
Oh, I wanted to move home. I wanted out because I went from a city of 30,000 people to a city of like 11 million with like the metropolitan area, and I was afraid to go into Hollywood. I only stayed in the Valley, which is like the suburbs. And I was just overwhelmed. I'd never lived on my own. It was definite culture shock. I jumped in. I was like, oh no, oh no. And I tried to move home like a handful of times. And my mom, she's always like, you should move home. And then I'm like, Mom, I think I'm going to move home. She's like, are you sure that's what you want? I was like, Mom, make up your mind. Like, what do you want? But something would always happen. And it's interesting. And this is why, like, I try my best not to say no to any experiences, even if I'm not sure how much it's going to serve me. I did a dating show called Date My Mom. Do you remember that show? So you'd go
on MTV or something?
Yeah. So I
Date My Mom?
Yeah, so you go on a series of dates with 3 moms, and they're trying to pitch you on their daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I remember this now.
Yeah.
This wasn't... first thing it's like a version of Next almost.
I think it was.
Right?
It might have been before Next.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
I remember watching those.
Yeah,
shows
I was on the
when
first season of that show.
Wow.
And
I was probably in.
Let's not talk about
junior high when you're on that.
What do you
show,
mean?
maybe.
I'm 22 now. What are you talking about? So I go on this show.
How long have you been living in LA up to this
a month?
Time?
Yeah,
okay.
A month.
So
it was before I realized that it's not special to get asked by a random person at a club to be on a dating show. That I get asked still, and I'm like, I'm 37, leave me alone. And I also don't live in LA anymore. So I went on the 3 dates.
So you don't say no to anything.
I do have standards.
All right, fine.
I go on these 3 dates. I really connect with one of the moms. She was dope. Like, we got along so well that we actually kept in touch. I eliminated her daughter, but we kept in touch, me, her, and her daughter, after the show. And I remember, like, a few months after the show came out, she told her daughter to hit me up to go to lunch. And I was like, okay, let's have lunch. And I sit down with her, and I was like, yeah, I think and they're native to LA, so they've been there for a long time. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to move back to Illinois. And she's like, why? I was like, it's just really hard out here. And she looks at me, the mom looks at me and goes, pussy. And 15 years later, I still lived in Los Angeles. It was amazing. It was like, I realized it's like kind of lowbrow, but she kicked me in the balls to be like, suck it up, dude. Like, you've been here for 4 months and you're already tapping out. Like, come on.
Wow.
And I just looked at her, and like, a lot of people would have got really insulted by that. But coming from like a performing background, you get used to rejection and criticism. So I looked at her and I was like, you're right. And I just started to like look at what was good there instead of focusing on all the negative things. That's what a lot of people do. Is it's so much easier. Like, I have a YouTube video with 1,000 comments. 2 of them are negative, and those 2 negative ones are just blaring in my mind. But there's so much other positivity surrounding it. So I just decided to start looking at the aspects that I enjoyed, and then also just really start to think about who I am and what I want to do. And
isn't it amazing how those just that one tiny thing.
Just one little thing.
It's happened more times in my life than I could even.
You're like
share
the
with
master networker. Like, it's
Yeah.
I'm a lurker. So they break down the pie graph of the internet, and they say 90% of the internet is lurkers. 8% is people who interact with content, and 2% are content creators. So
only 2%.
Only 2%.
Even the so the lurkers that are sharing stuff, you wouldn't count that as like
they would be in that
creators.
8.
You mean content creators with like intention and like
right?
What
so everyone except for the 2% are people who are consuming.
Wow.
But the 8% are people who are consuming and like will like and comment. It's still such a small percentage.
Yeah. What about those who do both?
What do you mean?
1%ers, baby.
What's up?
Who interact and comment, and they're content creators.
You're just the content creator then at that point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Well, yeah, I guess there is like, yeah, okay, I'll give you 0.5%. 0.5%. Because sometimes I can be bad about like
I guess it seems like much more than that. I mean, when you break it down, because there's so many people sharing crap on social media that they would call content or be, consider themselves content creator. They put something out once a month and, so.
It's still not a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of work.
We're so early into the game still.
Which is crazy because I've been doing it for 13 years. People are just now catching on. I'm like, where have you been? And I just invested early,
Yeah.
So I'm fortunate for that because I got in before it was saturated. I built my audience. And because I've taken so much time to develop a relationship with that audience, they will go with me anywhere.
Wow.
Which is wonderful.
Yeah. So you can take them from platform to platform and it works.
You'll lose some people.
Yeah.
But then you have that base to get out from underneath the pile to get enough attention.
Wow. It's almost like you're trying to farm or something now and the land is still so volatile. You have to consistently migrate.
Yeah.
Because it's just like...
You have to evolve. You have to evolve in business, in any aspect of business. Or like I always compare, like they call them YouTube channels. So I say, think of your channel as like a show. Think about the most popular shows on the planet.
So you're out there when like Gary Vee was starting to do his wine show, like really
I met
early
Gary
in the
Vee
days.
at the beginning of Twitter.
Wow.
And watching him now, he's a very different person than I remember. I was like, every time I see his videos, I feel personally attacked because he's always like, my friend Adorian, who
he's kind of like that mom that called you a,
Yeah, way more aggressive than that mom, for sure. But when you interact with him in real life, it's not as aggressive. That's just how he delivers his message, and it works. Yeah. But I used to do impressions of him. I was like, you know what you are, Dorian? You're a loser. You spend time with your family. You go outside. Really, you should be grinding, but you're not. You know what that makes you? A loser. And he was like, okay. But like he found a way to deliver his message that resonated with people.
Yeah, but my point is he started back in YouTube.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know this, like doing a wine show. Mm-hmm. It was your channel. So what was there a mentor of yours or something that happened that you saw this platform come out and you're like, whoa, this is going to be big?
I never thought it was going to be big.
Oh.
I never looked at it that way.
What drew you into that then?
I was working at a bar on Sunset, and
YouTube used to be a music. That
was that's MySpace. I think MySpace is still around.
Yeah, why am I not in your top friends list? By the way, I'm a little.
I don't even know how to get into my account, but when I get in there, I'll add you on there.
Just think, there's an eternity of profile songs playing the digital ecosystem of everyone's profile. We can't log into their account. Just an eternity of profile music.
Just racking up them views. That's how that generation, that MySpace generation, that's everyone learned how to do HTML because you could do that.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
I don't know how to do it now, but like these girls would have like all these like sparkly things and autoplay. It would crash my browser. I was like, I can't go to your profile because it crashes my computer. So I was.
God, I remember building my page way back in the day, and you were literally taking custom code snippets. There's like third-party websites that gave you custom code snippets, and you plug them in,
and you learn.
Yeah, those are cool days, man.
Yeah,
I'm baffled they didn't adapt in the way that they did. What's interesting too is like you see me talk about LinkedIn a lot because that's my business. LinkedIn started around the same time as MySpace.
Yeah.
People don't realize that.
Yeah.
And it still stood the test of time.
They still they email me, and I also can't figure out how to get into my profile at this point. And like, so it's like this constant like circle of emails. Like, I know I should use LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But kind of like I was talking about before.
You would, because no one in your space is probably building their brand on LinkedIn also and putting their content out there. But anyways, back to my question I had for you was, you were did YouTube come after MySpace or before MySpace?
After.
It came after.
Yeah.
So, and the platform, how'd you find out about the platform in the first place?
YouTube or MySpace?
YouTube.
It's actually a funny story.
I know how MySpace, because all your friends start talking. No one even knows.
No.
Tom was just sitting in the desk.
He was one of my regulars at the bar I worked at.
Oh, really?
And sometimes I think he liked the attention, because he'd go out in that white shirt. I was like, dude, you're just trying to get attention, but cool.
That's hilarious.
I didn't know what YouTube was.
Just going down nostalgia road right now.
I know. I'm losing I'm really old. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, you are.
Shut up. Only physically.
You're an old 22-year-old.
Oh, thank you. I didn't know what YouTube was. I saw it was a place to post video, but I thought it was like a photo bucket account or like whatever people use now, like to store privately to post somewhere else. So I had this video, this 15-second video of my dad and I doing Dance Dance Revolution at an arcade, and I wanted to post it to my MySpace page. So I signed up for YouTube and posted it there to then embed it into my MySpace page.
Because there wasn't a news feed on MySpace, was there? Was there?
There was.
Was there a news feed on MySpace?
Kind of, yeah. I remember posting like question of the day, and like it would be, but it would just be for your friends, yeah.
Okay.
But so I started getting emails from people commenting and subscribing and talking, and like I got my first troll almost immediately. And I looked at
you've been dealing with internet haters since
a long time,
since 2000 and what was that, 2003?
Well, I was on another social media before that, it was called Face the Jury. In 1999 or 2000. It was 2000. So I've been doing this for 19 years.
Was when YouTube came out?
No, YouTube came out in 2005. End of 2005.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
The first video was like a elephant at a zoo.
Think about it. It's 2019. Like, so early into this game still. So, like, I think about podcasting even.
Yeah.
And it may seem popular because we're in that genre, but so early into this vehicle of communicating this way.
And I think people like us, like when people ask me to speak on a panel about my knowledge on something, my brain goes, duh. But like you have to take yourself out of your bubble and look at the majority of the world and be like, I was like, what just happened?
See phone peeking around the corner.
You have to look at get out of your bubble and look at the majority of people in this world. Most people on this planet don't even have internet. Yeah. Most people on this planet don't know. Like, I
think Google's fixing that, aren't they? Oh, don't forget to tag them if you're doing on the Mile High Mentors page too. I think I have them on there. Yeah, you're on it. Sorry. Yeah. Go ahead.
But like we are so in our own bubble.
Yeah.
That we need to realize that majority of the planet has no, and that's what I love about being popular on the internet is I go out into the real world, and for the most part, nobody knows who I am. So I still have my audience, but I also have anonymity for the most part, which I love. But I think like most people don't have what we have.
Does anyone in Denver recognize you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because Denver's so small. I mean, if you're in LA, people are like, this guy.
I know, and they have actual celebrities there.
Well, I asked Ben Higgins was here recently. I'm like, dude, like there's no celebrities like you that live here.
Does he live in?
He lives in Denver. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you guys have to connect up. You guys would get along really well.
Yeah, he seems like he's got a good vibe about him.
Yeah,
yeah,
Colorado vibe dude for sure. Not LA.
I love. Is he one of the people behind Rebel Social?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
There's
that's
like other bachelor
dude.
How many bachelor dudes we got here?
No. Ben has a company called Generous Coffee, and they give back to what's their cause, man? I'm forgetting. Yeah, so Generous Coffee is his business. Sorry, buddy, I forgot what
I'll have to check it out.
What the cause was on that again. Too much in my brain right now. And then he also invests in some restaurants and stuff around here as well.
I love Denver, man.
But,
I could see this being my forever home.
Really?
And I never said that once about LA. Never once. I never thought of it as home. But
yeah,
it's just people. They're like, oh, everyone's so nice there. And I'm like, okay. And then I met everyone. I was like, wait, these people are actually nice, and they're not trying to. I had to relearn how to interact with people because in LA they're being nice to you, but there's always some sort of ulterior motive.
Actually, what's so funny, I remember when you first reached out to me on Instagram and then we started texting or whatever. I'm like, hey, dude, we're doing this dinner. Like, you want to come meet up with us? You're like, you know, like, what are you planning on selling me? Like, what's the cause behind the dinner?
Did I say that?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
You're like, well, dude, I'm good to meet, but like, I don't, what's it for? Like, what's the purpose of it? I'm like, dude, like, let's grab some food. Like, let's make friends.
Man, that's 15 years of people constantly trying to like use you or pitch you or like.
Isn't that funny though? But
I'm better
I just
now.
remember it. Yeah, hopefully. I know you probably thought I was trying to sell you something or on something or whatever.
No,
like,
I think I just wanted to know if it was a business thing or we were just being friends.
Yeah.
And it's it's like a mixture of both. Like, could we benefit from each other? Sure.
Yeah.
But I actually am interested in you as a human being as well.
Yeah, I mean, we get along. We had a good time. When we did that networking event, that was fun. Yeah. If I go to these events, I need to go with you because I'm not good at meeting people. Right.
I'm good at conversation.
I'm the opener, right?
You're the opener.
We established this. I'll be the opener, and then you carry on the conversation.
I'm good at that.
Yeah. And you're a better looking dude, so like you're like the attraction piece there, and I can like use that.
Use
to draw
me for
in
whatever you need. Okay.
to draw in people.
Whatever works.
Yeah. So what happened when you really started to like when did you start to like see something tangible come out of adopting, YouTube as your main content creation channel?
It wasn't like it was a particular moment, but I wasn't making very much money.
My watch started again.
Did it?
Whoa. So weird.
Hello. Live. I was working in bars. I was miserable. I was getting drunk all the time. I was in a relationship that was abusive. I lived with her, and that was miserable, and I wasn't following my purpose, which has always been to elevate others and listen, and that's why I love podcasting. But one day I was like, I don't want to do any of this anymore, and I broke up with her. I moved out. I moved home, quit my job, and I was like, I have $3,000 to my name from a brand deal I did. I'm going to stretch that as long as possible. And if I can go back, because LA is where all the big content creators are. So like you want to be able to collaborate. That's how you grow. So I was like, I'm going to go back to LA. I'm going to live as bare bones as possible. And if I can make enough money to sustain myself, I'll stay. And if not, I'll move home and I'll figure something else out. And I slept on floors and couches and bunk beds, and I didn't go out. I just learned the game. Eat, breathe, sleep, YouTube. Learning about SEO, learning about like proper metadata, like learning about the algorithms, learning from the people who are better than me. And I think that's what a lot of people lack, is they're not willing to set their ego aside and be like, you're better than me at this, and I want to learn from you. And so that's all I did. And within 3 months, I was making barely enough for rent. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to keep pushing. And then I did, and it just kind of kept going. And 10 years later, I'm still at least in the content creation.
What was it like? How were you monetizing it at that point in time?
Just ad revenue.
Yeah.
Just ad revenue. And
YouTube
then
would run ads through your channel, and based on the volume or numbers of people
they would
watching.
sell ads against it depending on the content. Like you get like higher CPMs than other, like higher paying ads than others. And then I had a couple of videos go viral for me. So like that was the security deposit on a new apartment for myself. And then I just kind of kept fine-tuning my messages, kept networking and meeting new people, and the rest is history.
Right. Have you always kind of been like that? Like, did you know to go seek out people that were doing greater things than you, or it just kind of was like, this is what I need to do?
I'm a seeker of knowledge. I think everyone should be.
Yeah. But most people aren't. That's part of the reason why we do this show is, Mile High Mentors.
It hurts to admit that you don't know.
Yeah.
But then you're always grateful at the end to have the knowledge. So that's why I was saying, just like set the ego aside and just be okay. Sucking at something is the first step to being maybe kind of good eventually at something. You just got to go through those initial growing pains. Look, I have to give myself the speech all the time because when I screw up publicly. I have a bunch of people watching me screw up. So when you don't have an audience, that's the perfect time to screw up. No one's watching. So that's your time to develop your voice.
That's the other thing. And you could probably speak to this much more than I can, but people aren't necessarily, they don't have the fear of getting started. They're just afraid of being seen so small when they do get started. Yeah. Those who want to have a business like you have, for example, and they see you, with a check mark next to your name and they're like, oh my God. But instead of like looking at it that way, Chris is reachable and you literally reach out to you and ask like how you did that and like what the steps are, and you'd probably give it to them.
And there's a lot of people who are like, oh, you're so lucky to have what you have. And I was like, luck has nothing. I mean, I was prepared for opportunity.
You slept on couches.
Twice. I did that twice.
Yeah.
I did it for my first channel, and I ended up doing it for my second channel. The second time, I was on people's floors for 7 months.
Wow.
I'm like 32 years old at the time, sleeping on air mattresses and floors, which I was grateful to have because not everybody has that. The negative speak in my mind, like, you're such a loser. Like, what are you doing with your life? But you have to fight through those things. And actually, from connecting with Carrie's her name, right? Carrie on Instagram, she had a quote on there that really stuck with me because people see that like I get paid to promote products. Like I wish like why are you getting paid? So it's like they're not paying me for the promotion of that product, or they're not paying me for my ability to deliver the message. They're paying me for the 10 years of learning how to deliver that message for that product. People say the same thing about professional athletes. They're not getting paid millions of dollars necessarily because they're the best. They are the best because they sacrificed their entire lives and now they're getting paid.
The time that has compounded where
if you break it down,
get paid.
How much, like, I bet you it's not as much as you would think with a lifetime of getting to the elite level. Become the best at something and then you'll get paid too. But you got to put in the work and love it. Because there's been times where like I was making content that didn't necessarily align with me, but I was just trying to keep.
You mean promotional, like paid?
No,
content?
I never did that. But like some of the YouTube content with like I would kind of you have to get kind of clickbaity regardless at this point. But
gotta test stuff.
Yeah,
gotta test. I mean, yeah.
But sometimes you're just trying to survive. But like the fact that I've been able to make it whilst keeping my integrity is one of the most rewarding things. Because I could have way bigger following than I do now if I played the game like everybody else. I just don't. I did not match who I was. So I was like, I'm making enough money to be okay, be happy.
Could be like David Dobrik size vlog or whatever. I mean,
he actually remains wholesome. I'm so like he's actually, him and Liza are good examples of YouTube content creators.
Have you met them before?
Yeah,
out there, I'm sure.
Yeah. More so Liza.
Yeah,
because we auditioned for the same like. We were supposed to co-host a show together.
Yeah. See, I didn't find out about him until recently, actually. Oh. I mean, I had seen like a video go viral and I'd be like, that's funny, like in my Facebook feed. But then I started looking at his content and I really started studying it. And there's actually a couple areas that I'm taking from him, what I'm learning. See, I'm looking at it from a different eye than a consumer. And I'm looking at it, how can I take these components that are working for this guy and apply it into my own content creation?
So how are you applying that?
Totally different genre. Way I'm phrasing like text. See, LinkedIn is where that's my genre there. That's where I have my following and where I get, the reach that, other people do on other platforms. So I'm like, observing how I can take some of those components and bring it to this like totally different genre. Like his videos are for, kids at home watching, or like, people just watching his stuff for fun.
Well, he also
mine's for business.
He's doing that thing I was talking about where like the people that are in all his videos, they're all on his payroll. So he surrounded himself with people who are just as funny or funnier than him, and all the content goes to him. It's kind of like that Mr. Beast guy. He spends all this money on. You've never heard of Mr. Beast?
No.
Like he'll do stuff like he'll get all of his friends in like recently there was like all his friends in a revolving door, and the last person to stay in the revolving door as it's moving gets $50,000. He went to a store like a low cost like food store in LA and cleaned out all of the non-perishable stuff, bought everything. It was like $100,000 worth of stuff. But the thing is he's making so much more in revenue and merch
the content that
from
came
the content.
from that. Yeah.
So it's thinking about long money, not short money.
Well, like, and that goes back to the David thing. Also, he gives away cars and like all this stuff and these crazy, goofy stunts and that are hundreds of thousands of dollars.
But he makes so much
more off.
We also like
that's a key of investing, like reinvesting back into yourself, because a lot of people get to that point. Like for me, it's easy for me to do what I do money wise, right, and not reinvest into expanding bigger. And a lot of people fail at that. That's why they get stuck at a certain level.
Yeah.
Don't reinvest back into their business or themselves.
Because it's going to go to the government anyway.
Yeah.
Like being self-employed. Like I've been friends with Jenna Marbles for a really long time. Are you familiar with Jenna Marbles? She's a blonde. Yeah. Huge,
okay.
Huge
she's
on the
in
platform.
LA also?
Yeah, she is. She was in Boston. We did a music video together.
Yeah, let's just name drop everyone you know.
Well, okay, it's an example because
no, I know.
She started making so much money quickly that she just like, I think at one point her boyfriend was like on her payroll, and she just like went and bought a car, not because she was fine with her car, but because like she was making so much money, she would rather invest it in stuff like that.
That's not an investment though. Well, car is not an investment.
But otherwise it's going back to the government.
Yeah.
Like it's all a write-off.
Not necessarily. See, those people don't understand how to multiply their money when they get it. So that would be real estate assets and, other vehicles.
Yeah. She probably knows that now.
Hopefully. I mean, that's why most athletes who get these $20-50 million contracts, they go broke within years of leaving their professional sport because they don't know how to take that money, and instead of buying shiny objects, they go make it multiply into something that creates passive income.
Being wealthy instead of being rich.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's the difference. So those guys are rich, but real wealth is how to put your cash into long term things that make your money little money babies.
I like money babies.
Yeah, money babies are good.
Yeah.
See, but most people they go straight for the shiny objects, the thing that's going to look good on Instagram. For a short period of time, and then they're effing broke again.
Yeah.
Right away.
Well, you could just do what I did and spent most of your life being broke, so it's never an issue.
Yeah. So, do you recommend people right now, if they want to build a business around monetizing content in the way that you have, is it harder now if you get started right now, or is it you just need to know the right steps, and should people start on YouTube?
It's really hard. It's so saturated, because when I started, it was just like the weird kids creating stuff, and now it's all the most popular kids in high school are on top again, but now they're on top on the internet.
Yeah.
Like I see the kids who are really popular, and I'm just like, they're just doing like really dumb stuff. It's not creative. It's just, look at how pretty I am. You should follow me.
Well, yeah, I see some people with Instagram followings, and I'm like,
yeah. It's not like really true engage. Like there was that one story, that girl who had like tons of Instagram followers and tried to sell merch, and she sold like 2 shirts.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important to
vanity over the value.
Yeah, like bring something back to your community. The great thing about content creation now, if you're trying to monetize it, is YouTube's not the only option anymore. Before, YouTube took over because it was the only platform. There was like maybe one other platform that hardly anybody used. Now,
do you still monetize off YouTube?
Yeah. I did a video every day for 6 years. So like,
how many videos is that?
Thousands.
I
don't over 2.
How do you keep up with that? Did you do it like vlog style or?
It was more sit down conversational style.
Dang.
I tried doing day in the life. It didn't work out. But I remember one time, like, I wanted to keep my streak going. I was in Barcelona. I had crappy hostel hotel internet. And it was a Sunday morning. I just, like, curled up in the front steps of an Apple store. And they have free Wi-Fi and upload. I got it done. You know, you just get it done.
Yeah.
But you can go to so many different places. And, like...
I tried to do a daily vlog one time. It was hard.
Yeah.
Hard.
It's not fun.
So hard. I was like, I can't. There's no possible way I can.
If you don't enjoy it, don't do it. Like
I loved it, but it was in the way of my thing that was making me money, like my main business.
Right.
You know?
So just like focus on where your audience is.
Yeah.
You know? So like for me, because my stuff was so conversational and the landscape shifted so much with YouTube, that's why I switched over to Twitch. Because Twitch is like the thing that makes these websites secure is who owns it. So YouTube is owned by Google. Twitch is owned by Amazon. So being on a platform that's owned by the richest man in the world, or at least I think he still is. I don't know. He got divorced. I'm sure he still is.
Even after she took half.
Ridiculous. It's awesome. Good for him.
Dang, that's baller.
Yeah.
Like your wife takes half your money. You're still the wealthiest man in the world.
Good for him for not like trying to fight it either. Like just get past it. You're gonna make more money later.
That's crazy. But that's just another sign that he's not successful. People call him a success. It's not true success if you can't have the relationship, down the right way. He cheated on her. Is that what happened?
I mean, I separate business from personal in that way. Like,
yeah, but your life is all of those things.
Yeah, he's still really successful.
Kind of.
He's not successful in his personal endeavors.
Is he happy?
Well, he's fine.
Can you be successful if you're
successful in business?
Not happy? Yeah, there's a lot of people that are successful. Who's the guy right now who's going through like child trafficking lawsuits or whatever?
Is it R. Kelly?
Government? No.
I don't know.
But there's some stuff with R. Kelly too.
He's always getting arrested for something.
But
finally,
that's not successful. Those guys have lots of money, but that's not success in my mind.
Yeah. I mean, I was just focused on like business success.
Yeah.
But we also don't know what happened. We know what we're told. The only two people who truly know what's going on are the two people who are in the relationship.
In the internet.
And the internet thinks they know everything. All the armchair activists, all the people who know everything. I was like, yeah, I can also Google an article that will fit my narrative, but that doesn't make me right.
Yeah.
And I've talked about so many like polarizing topics over the years that like my feed on Twitter is just constantly like, you're just constantly making people upset. But I
sometimes you have to.
It's as long as it starts a conversation, that's really the whole point.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes getting attention, you have to get attention to break through obscurity to serve more people, and sometimes you have to talk about things that are a little bit,
I think it's important.
Hard to talk about or important to, right?
Yeah.
So you use your biggest platform right now is Twitch, right?
Financially, yes.
Yeah.
My biggest following is outside of that, but I've also only been doing Twitch for a couple years now. So.
And you monetize something like that similar to a YouTube channel, is that right?
No, I don't really make much money off of ad revenue there. There's a lot of donations and paid subscriptions, and also they have a bounty system now where like companies will be like, if you stream this for an hour and have this amount of viewers, we'll pay you X amount of money.
Oh.
And that's depending on, and the number goes up as your viewership grows as well.
So you like sit there with like a Coca-Cola while you're streaming, and
yeah,
that's how it works basically.
Like
if you get
that, we were talking about that Twitch Sings game. I can stream that for an hour and make an extra like $100 just for that hour of streaming a game I would already be streaming. So they're trying. Twitch is like 2010 YouTube right now.
Really?
So it's in its infancy for sure. And it was only gaming until about 2 years ago. Yeah. 2-3 years ago.
Twitch is where people watch other people game games, because I've seen those. I know nothing about. I don't game or like have TV or anything like that, but I like observing these things.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of confusion about how you have this as a business.
Yeah. Paid subscriptions is like the big thing.
For Twitch.
Yeah. And because Amazon owns it, if you connect your Amazon Prime account to Twitch, you can subscribe people for free. And then you also, the thing I like about Amazon versus Google is ad revenue, and Amazon is a product, and a product is much more stable than ad revenue.
Interesting.
I remember
you have to talk to JV about this. He boycotts everything Amazon. He doesn't use it at all.
Okay. That's fine. That wouldn't be a good business move for me right now, but
no, I understand that.
Yeah,
but it's interesting to hear his perspective on it.
Yeah,
as that
would be interesting.
The conscious millionaire. That's his.
Conscious
millionaire.
Yeah,
he boycotts everything Amazon. So we'll have to ask him about that. I can't remember what his biggest reason on it. I'm like, dude,
it ruins cities when Amazon moves into your city. Kind of like Walmart does.
Yeah,
but honestly, that's how business is gonna go. It's like when people talk about like Denver has really gentrified in a lot of areas, and like it sucks for the families that get displaced, and my heart goes out to them. But things are going to get more expensive. They have since things have a price tag on them, you know, even before then. So it's kind of like, unless you have a solution in another direction, then that's just the progress of business. I don't like that it hurts people, but like ultimately, like people prioritize convenience over other people, which is a little sad.
Yeah,
but we still buy into it as consumers.
There's got to be a way to have a balance of both, I would imagine.
I mean, it's cheaper and easier, than going to a store, and so it's like
goes back to what we're talking about, slavery, basically.
It's consumerism more than slavery. You know, it's the business is progressing. Things are going faster, figuring out how they can make it cheaper. But yeah, a lot of these companies do use like sweatshops. Like, of course, H&M's clothing is so inexpensive because it's made in a poor country by poor people. Yeah. At a fraction of the cost.
Yeah. Now, would they have had that job opportunity otherwise without, H&M being there? Who knows?
Who knows?
Maybe they wouldn't.
Maybe they appreciate having it. We're putting our own standards on those countries, and those countries are very different.
That's very true.
But it is. I mean, there is basic human decency, though, on how you treat people. Yeah. But I mean, like they're bathing in India, they're bathing in a poop-filled, dirty lake, and that's what they have. So it's like, how do we fix that? I don't know. A smarter man than I, with more resources, will have to figure that out.
Elon Musk. He's going to figure it out.
Elon Musk is not going to figure anything out. He's going to leave. That's what he's going to do. He's like, you guys screwed this up. I'm going to go to Mars. Talk to you guys later.
See him like as a cyborg, 100 years from now, comes back to save us all. He'll come back and save us all. He's coming back, right? He's coming back?
I don't know that that's true.
Yeah, I read he has an interesting cat. Not to get distracted, but anyways, so when you're doing all this content creation, I mean, I saw you post something on your stories where you did like a 48-hour stream,
a 24-hour stream.
Savage. What do you do? Like, what are you talking about? Like,
you do everything. I did a fit because you can. The thing about Twitch versus YouTube is Twitch really celebrates variety. You're streaming for so long that you kind of switch up the things that you're doing. Yeah. So I started
like an
off
overlord. Like Twitch really likes it when you.
They do
when you say their name.
They do Twitch.
They're listening right now.
But yeah, So I started off. I did fitness part of my stream. I did a music part of my stream. We did a podcast. We did 2 podcasts. I did breakfast, lunch, dinner. I baked cookies, played games.
Take the camera around.
So I have a laptop set up.
Yeah.
In my kitchen. So if I want to do something that's not in my main setup, I shut it down in one room, bring it up in another, and you just kind of like. And it's brutal. It is brutal. It is tiring, but it's a really bonding experience for you and your audience. And it was a celebration.
On it that whole time.
There was like all 24 hours. There was a group of like 4 people who stayed
for the entire 24 hours.
My God,
that's crazy.
But it was like
that's amazing that you said that. It's 4 people. People would think about that and be like, "Why did I do that for 4 people?" Like this guy may have changed the lives entirely of those 4 people.
And that's the thing. That's why I like
create for that one person.
Because like I'll give an example. I'm actually in the process of applying for the TED Fellow program because I really want to get into public speaking, and I'm trying to figure out how to get my foot in the door. So that's an opportunity.
You need to talk to Carrie.
Okay. Well, yeah, I know. I screwed that up, I guess.
You and Carrie need to get married.
God bless. Calm down. So there was one of the questions in the sheet was, what's your crowning achievement? Which is very difficult. Like, can you off the cuff think of your one crowning achievement? No. So instead of thinking about something I accomplished, I started to look at it a different way. And this is kind of ties into what you were saying about make content for that one person. There was a guy who had been in my chat quite a bit. I'd seen him kind of on social media, and I'd developed a slight relationship with him, and he happened to be in Chicago at the same time I was in Chicago. And he was like, I want to take you to dinner. And I said, cool, let's meet up. So as we meet up, we're talking, and he's like, I have something to tell you. I was like, oh, God, this was a mistake. What did I do? And he starts crying.
I want to marry you.
Yeah.
Can I have a lock of your hair?
He's gonna stab me. But no, he starts.
Isn't that the worst too? Someone's like, I have something to tell you. Gut just
tell me. Don't no preamble.
I know,
just make it happen.
Stuff. I hate that stuff.
So he starts tearing up a little bit, and I was like, oh God, this is serious. And he was like,
I'm with a psychopath.
he had
He's here right now.
Yeah, shit. I was like, what's that tapping? So he had he's gay. He has the same partner for 12 years. High paying job, beautiful condo. I ideally like perfect life, and he doesn't like it. He doesn't appreciate it, and he feels so guilty that he's decided that he's going to end his life. His partner went away on a vacation or a business trip. He got a hotel room. He got all the chemicals laid out so that he could make his death quick. He had notes for everyone. Very type A suicide. He had clothes laid out. He was ready to do it that night. And he was doing research. I think he was in Virginia at the time. He was doing research to figure out how to make sure his body went straight to the morgue instead of being autopsied. And in the process of finding out that information, he saw one of my YouTube videos. Now, he didn't know who I was at this point. He'd never seen one of my videos. He sees one of my YouTube videos, and the title says, "There's nothing wrong with you." And the content of the video actually wasn't like pertaining to his situation, but that message, he received that message and decided that he wanted to live. And so his life, I would say, is my crowning achievement. Because I put that message out there like a radio station. I don't know who's going to receive it, but I wanted to make sure that whoever it touched was positively impacted. And the fact that, like, to save a life with your content, come on. Dang. Incredible.
Yeah.
So he's telling me this, and I'm like, then I start crying because it's just like, it's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
So we coped with pizza. It was fine.
Yeah. We just ate pizza.
Yeah.
Emotionally ate some pizza.
Yeah.
After.
The tears help salt the pizza.
That's crazy.
But it's beautiful. And that's why, like, when I talk about influencer, I don't really like the term influencer because there's such a negative association with it at this point. Because a lot of people who call themselves influencers, really they're just attention seekers. You see it a lot on social media.
I literally did a video on this. I don't know if you saw.
Did you?
On this exact topic. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. What it's actually like being an influencer, because it's not about that mass, like, sexy following that you have. It's about that one person that didn't kill themselves today because you put a positive message out. And anybody listening to this who's even considering being a content creator or looking at putting their message out, know it's important. Don't not do it because you're afraid of how small people are going to see you in the beginning. Do it for that one person. And that one person will stay with you. Like, I have people who followed me for all 13 years that are still in my life. Wow. But one of the ways that I illustrate to people is I don't look at influencer as a title. Influencer is a verb to me. How do you influence?
You just taking cute pictures of yourself, to me, like, sure, but what kind of message are you delivering? How are you giving back to the audience that you have? Like, to me, you're an influencer. I'm an influencer. People in my audience are influenced. Any individual is an influencer. It just depends on how they influence. The number next to your name, follower count, subscriber count, that doesn't mean it matters. It doesn't denote value, though. It denotes reach. So how do you add value to that reach? And I feel like it's gotten a little bit lost on especially the younger generation of quote unquote influencers, because it's take instead of an even exchange, or even giving more than you receive. And maybe that's just a lesson that they have to learn. Like, I think I started doing YouTube when I was 24, so I was already a full-grown person. So some of these kids, they're like the number one most earning person on YouTube, 7 years old. Did you know that? He does toy reviews.
Seriously? Oh yeah, I've heard about this kid.
He makes the most money, 7 years old.
Crazy.
Like, imagine
what does he make? Like
millions.
$50 million,
Stupid,
something like that.
stupid
Something
money.
crazy.
Because like,
that's so cool though. People would see that and hate on that, and they do. Like Kylie Jenner becoming the world's youngest woman billionaire.
She's not. They said self-made, which was
self-made. But also, here's the thing: is more than enough people have come from the privilege that she has and haven't accomplished that. There is work.
She's got the drive
and hustle and other pieces that went on behind the scenes that people do not realize.
Oh, of course not.
Becoming a billionaire is not something that you just get from privilege. Like, even look at, not to get political, Donald Trump. Like, people fucking hate Donald Trump.
He got a small bank loan of $1 million.
Yeah, small bank loan. But still, there are there's millions of people that have gotten the same opportunity as that and haven't built what those people have. So the thing is, like, don't look at those and hate. You got to, like, study that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And if you can take Donald Trump's not a good guy, but if you can take some of those components and have a positive impact with what you're able to do with your privilege or the opportunity, even if your opportunity is microscopic and it's with one single person, then that makes all the difference.
But I think also the struggle with that is, like, if you're going to be successful, try not to trample people along the way.
Exactly.
You know,
yeah.
like,
you can't truly be successful if you trample.
You can't.
It's not true success,
not by
though.
your definition,
Yeah,
sure.
okay.
But by business definition, I watch it happen. And people are like, oh, he's going to get his. Some people don't.
It's not even
and also,
business success.
It's also not important.
You can be a successful criminal and have a successful business, but you're still a damn criminal.
But you can learn so much from some of those criminals, man. The hustle, I like it. As much as it's like people say it about Adolf Hitler. Like, he is an atrocious human being, but he was a powerful leader. You have to be a powerful person in order to lead. He led in
conversation got dark real quick.
I know, but it's true. Like, when you think about it, like, he's an atrocious human being, and he did some of the worst things that have ever happened on this planet. But in order for him to get that many people to follow him, you have to have the ability to lead, and he did. He had the ability to speak and lead.
Yeah.
That being said,
influence.
I'm glad he's not here.
Influencer. Yeah. Same.
He was a very successful influencer.
Yeah. So let's not wrap on that note.
No. Can we edit that out?
No. We're definitely going to keep that in because it's important. But
yeah.
In wrapping, anything else that you want to share? Was that a siren?
Siren, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought someone was going, woo!
Well, then I saw you reflect on the TV over there, and I was like, is that a window?
Aliens.
That I didn't. Yeah.
It's aliens.
My dog sees aliens.
Area 51 is... Oh, does he really?
Yeah, he does.
Legit?
Yeah.
Or ghosts, maybe?
He's just nervous, I think.
What about alien ghosts?
I mean, they're all foreign to me.
Anything else you want to share out, man?
I think we talked about it. I mean...
Will you come do this again?
Yeah, for sure. I mean...
We can't go that... Dude, we got to hang... I haven't seen you in so long.
I know.
I had to get you on the podcast just to hang out with you.
I've been cocooning, man. Yeah. Like, I just, like...
You've been grinding.
But I also just had a lot of mental stuff I needed to work through. So I haven't been leaving my apartment, but I'm starting to, like, come out of that. I just needed to work on myself a little bit because I didn't realize how much trauma I went through in living in LA. And now that I'm somewhere more calm and the dust is starting to settle, I was like, oh, you need to work on that. And so I just took that time to start doing that. Like, I haven't been dating. I haven't really been like going out with people as friends either. Like, I've been like kind of keeping to myself.
Right.
But I'm trying to get out of that habit because it's not.
Don't have to go at it alone, bro.
And you live down the street from me.
I'm literally down the street. I'm moving to the Confluence next week.
Oh.
So I'll have you come by to the.
Wow.
Wow, how fantastic.
I looked at those places.
I love it's gore. I literally visualize this place. It's like in my brain. It's so gorgeous. I'm on the 3rd floor right behind the river.
Cool.
So I can hear like the water rushing. It's just going to be inspiring to like work there because I work from home just like you. So.
I go to the amusement park. I have a season pass to the amusement park.
Elitch's?
Yeah. Dude,
Elitch's is so sketchy now.
It's $70 and I can walk to an amusement park.
Well, use it up while you can because they're tearing that thing down here soon, I believe, and putting more condos there.
That's not surprising. That's literally what happening to this entire city.
Yeah.
Cranes everywhere.
It is booming, but, you know, everyone from LA has got to get out of LA, so they're coming here. High quality of life. How can people get into contact with you? How do they find you?
I'm Sup Daily on all social media, and then
why Sup Daily? Sorry, I didn't mean.
Well, when I signed up for YouTube, I didn't know what it was, and my email was Sup Ricky at the time, and because people think I look like Ricky Martin, so I didn't know it was going to become my brand. It was an accident.
I can't unsee it.
Right. So then I made a daily channel, so Sup Ricky turned into Sup Daily. And then I have a podcast now called Unfiltered Friends. And I think we've got about 5 episodes up now, and I love it. It matches what I've always wanted to do. It's kind of like I went through the training ground of all the other things to develop the skills, and now
fun.
Now
it's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
You do that in your apartment, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Okay, I have a 2-bedroom, and my 2nd bedroom is a set. So I thought about doing what you do here, but.
What you have going on is
but I stream all the time.
Yeah.
So like I don't want to have to schedule time. Like I need to have a space to do it when I can. But if I didn't have the live stream, like this is a great deal.
Yeah. So Sup Daily. Sup Daily is on all your platforms.
Mm-hmm. And then Unfiltered
Just hit
Friends.
You up there.
Yeah.
Slide into the DMs if you want to share some pizza with Chris.
Yeah. You think apparently Carrie should do it? Yeah. We've already DM'd though, so.
Yeah. I'm going to get you and Carrie together.
I think so.
I think it's going to happen. All right, brother. Appreciate you. Grateful for you. Thanks for coming down to do this. Guys, thanks so much. Do not forget to subscribe. It's very helpful, especially with a new podcast.
And rate on Apple Podcasts especially.
Give a review, give a rating, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.